that, and let's go back out to the desktop and let's have a look at lanyards. Now there's just one file for lanyards. I know a lot of you in your rollout will probably be getting hold of a lanyard anyway, these are fairly bog standard, and as you can see here, there's no plastic reflection on top of these. It's been cut out literally, but what you'd have to do to get your design to work is do a free transform, hold down your command key, and then just drag the corners of your design out to those corners to affect that. But I know a lot of you are getting lanyards as props anyway to photograph, and it would be a much preferable sort of process to do. So there we go. So miscellaneous has a lot of crazy stuff like badge, plant. I don't know whether we've actually left plants in. Again, they're a bit random, and I don't. Some watering can. No, I'm pretty certain that we've gotten rid of those two. Plants and a watering can. Yes, a watering can, and we definitely got rid of that because that's just bloody ugly. So I'm just going to delete that as well. Coasters. Yeah, there you go. It's two circles. And then finally a hanger. Well, that's a door hanger. That's, make my bedroom or give me breakfast or whatever for a hotel. I'm not too sure whether you guys on Monday, Tuesday have done a hotel identity. That's what you could use, obviously, here. So there we go. I'm not specifically going to go into any detail about how to mock up onto these. I'm going to be sort of targeting a couple of specific ones. I mean, maybe one of the obvious ones is to go for a poster, and we've got a lot of selection of posters here. They're from the backlit, what we call the backlit city-like sort of posters, to just the flat ones which don't have backlighting, even though they're all very bright. There are ones which don't have backlighting here, I'm assuming. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't have backlighting on it, I guess. Now the big problem, and this of course is something that's hanging on the wall, and these are very easy to use, these ones, because again, you just copy and paste your design onto it. Now, of course, format is a bit of a problem. Now, if I just open this one up and find that my poster is not quite big enough, I mean, the other irritating thing about this is you've got this sort of wooden panel in the background. So, to be completely honest with you, what I would do with this is to get rid of the wooden panel altogether. You can see that's pretty much a perfect rectangle. I would just very simply invert my selection and hit... trying to avoid content aware. Oh, I need to actually fill it with white. And there we go. And if you wanted to, I'm going to invert the selection again, cut that out and paste it perhaps, and you could throw a drop shadow on it or whatever. Obviously, I've done a completely wrong thing here. I've cut that out, and of course it's left black there. So I'm just going to go into the background layer and fill that with white. I just need to reset my foreground and background color to do that. And so I'm left with my poster. Now the only issue with this is, if you want to put a shadow on this, it needs to be pretty much consistent with any other shadow work you do. So, but obviously shadows are available under FX. Drop shadow down the bottom there, and Photoshop does a very subtle one, but what I would be doing is something like that, and then dragging that all the way down to something like that, just barely noticeable. With that. Now, let's go back to my Illustrator document, and if I wanted to put that onto there, you can see that mine's slightly different size. I'm just going to copy this anyway, and then go back into Photoshop and paste this again. Again, it's going to be rather small. Let me just sort of align this up. Now, see how it's snapping? So make sure that you've got Snap to Object, I think it is, checked under the Snap to, under the view menu, and it should be not quite snapping to on this one, but as you can see, that's what it's doing there. Now, given that I've got this on, it's a bit dodgy, isn't it? Let me just go back. I shouldn't do that. I should actually paste this again, and I'm going to move it up to the right-hand corner and zoom right in, so I know that that's sitting right on that corner there, and it's not even allowing me to do this, so I'm using my cursor keys to do that. And you can see that actually the edge there, for some obscure reason, it's going to extend that the actual transformation box is going outside of where I want it to go. So I might need to come back and have a look at this again. So I've just hit Command 0 to zoom back out again, and then I zoom back in again. Give it a second while it just has a bit of a think about, oh, look at that, that's just spot on, God, I'm good. And as you can see, that's not quite right there, so I need to pull that up to there. What you don't want, of course, is any creep through of white or a bit of the shadow or anything else coming through. So I'm being fairly careful about this. And then once I'm happy with that, I hit enter to confirm. That's pretty much spot on. And so the post, and let me just go to multiply on this. The poster's coming through there, as you can see there, but of course the poster itself is the wrong size. So because I've separated it from the background, now all I need to do is hit Command T to transform it, and then I can just go and fit it onto my design. Don't, of course, do it the other way around. Don't fit your design onto the original photograph, or in this instance, the original artwork. Always fit the artwork to your design, if that makes sense. Photograph to your design. So there's a poster. I don't need to use that, so let's close that down again. So yeah, various variations on the theme of a poster. Now, one type in particular I wanted to talk about was this one, the city light or backlit poster. And of course, what's going on with this one, as you can see, there's nothing happening here. Oh, there is actually a look for paths, guys. There's always a path on, not always, I tell a lie. There's sometimes a path ready for you to use to be able to do this. I'll just copy this again because I didn't quite do that. Now, I just realized that this is probably close to A4, and my stupid design here is certainly not A4. So why don't I just set up an A4 frame here. Of course, it's huge, but I'm just going to proportionally drag it down until, and then I can just change the size of my poster. Most of our designs will be sort of working to that A format, of course. If it's not, you'll just need to make some sort of changes as per my example there. And then, oh god, get it right. Smart Guide's getting in the way, so let's just drag that up to there, send it to the back, and what I need to do is ungroup that, and I've got this sitting, yeah, I'll just extend this down like this. That'll do. That's all I need, isn't it? Just want to, in fact, I'll just keep that original one behind there, that's fine. So I'm just going to group that and copy it again. So yeah, it's close to A4 format. So that means when I paste it onto this, again, pasting as pixels, what I want to do here is get it bigger in the first instance. Oh, actually, no, I tell a lie. That's not what I want to do with this first. What I'm going to do first, you can see I just deleted that layer, is actually load this path as a selection. So when you've got a path to load as a selection, you hold down the Command key and click, and there's our selection. So all I need to do now is edit, paste special, paste into, Command Option Shift V to paste into. So even though it's small there, if I drag it up to there, why is that not doing that? What's it doing? Oh, I think it's because it's a Vector Smart object that it's doing that. Sorry, that's a good reason to just backtrack a bit. I'm going to paste it as pixels. I'm going to make it bigger than what I need it to be, so obviously it's going to extend outside to about that point there. Hit enter to confirm the size of it. I'm just going to hit Command A to select all and cut, and that'll cut the contents of that layer. And of course what I can do is delete that layer by hitting the delete key. Go back to the path menu and Command click on that, and now edit paste special paste into, and it's sitting inside. Now that's exactly what I want it to do. So it's sitting inside the selection. Automatically, of course, it will create a layer mask for that very reason. Now all I need to do is hit my Command key, hold down my, Command T to transform, then hold down my Command key and drag my corners to their respective, obviously the location on this particular backlit poster here. So let me just zoom in. I've dragged it in from a distance. Let's now zoom in to get that sitting perfectly there. And you can see I've just got a little bit outside. I mean, I don't want it to make it look as though there's any white or anything coming through there. Having said that, this is backlit, so there's going to be some natural white that comes through anyway. So I hit enter to confirm that, and there's my design. So yeah, the only issue with this, and it may be something you want to have a look at, is there is a bit of residual glow that's coming outside of there. And I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It's natural. The other thing is, if you try and multiply, it'll do that. There won't be any change because you're multiplying a darker thing onto a lighter thing, so it won't do anything at all. But can I recommend one thing that you should do? if you want to make this look real, there's one thing that exists on the rest of this photographic image, which of course doesn't exist on your photograph, and that is pixelation or noise. Not pixelation, but actually noise. And the noise that you get, you know, obviously off a digital camera. So what we can do to sort that out is very simply just select the layer that you've just pasted in and changed, go to the filter menu, and I've done this with the book video too, by the way, so there's a reference to that as well. Go down to the filter, noise, and add noise it is. And as you can see here, I've got it set to uniform. If you change it to Gaussian, Gaussian does, oh, you can't really see it very well. I've set it to 100% there anyway. Let me just zoom into, sorry, I've zoomed out accidentally. Let me just zoom into this, and you can see the difference between the two. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't really mean much difference at all, to be honest with you. It creates that really nice, and I've got that set to 3%, by the way. It's just a really small value, and I've also set it to monochromatic. There doesn't appear to be much change with that either, but what monochromatic will do is kind of avoid, you know, bringing in any other color pixels, of course. So that will sort of give you a natural sort of noise effect, which simulates what's going on around in the photograph. The only other thing that you have to look out for, of course, is that photographs should be sharp. In this particular photograph, as you can see there, it's quite soft. So if you wanted to, you could also go into this filter, blur, and something called Gaussian blur. And you can see what it's doing is blurring it quite a fair bit there. But I'm just going to take it down to about, say, 0.5 of a pixel, just a really small change. And let me just turn that off and on. You can see the difference to, that the change is made. And if I click OK to that, let's look at this at 100%. There's a softness in that now, which kind of simulates the rest of the softness in the photograph. Now, from a distance, you don't see anything at all, but when you get up close to this, ladders in a printed page on a 300 DPI printed page on a portfolio, it looks pretty pretty nice. It blends in nicely. What I might do is I'll stop here and I will record another video, which will continue on with the next bits.